Welcome again to our immigration policy sessions. This video will focus on the enforcement numbers at the southwest border of the United States. One of the main tools used by the Border Patrol to measure migration trends is the number of apprehensions at the border. Specifically, the Border Patrol has apprehended on fiscal years 2017, 2018, and 2019 as of June, a total of 1,388,866 people. This number can be broken up into different categories, such as family units, unaccompanied minors, and single adults. The two most important categories because of the vulnerability of the population are family units and unaccompanied minors. For the same period of 2017 to 18 and 2019 until June, there were 221,864 people apprehended as part of family units and 155,095 unaccompanied minors. Other relevant statistics that help create an image of the current situation at the border with Mexico are the number of Border Patrol agents, which in 2018 were 19,555 for the whole United States, of which 16,608 were situated at the southern border. It is interesting to notice that even though President Trump signed an executive order at the beginning of his administration to increase the number of Border Patrol agents, there has been a decrease in agent staffing at the southern border of 418 agents. This comparative graph shows apprehension trends at the southern border. As we can notice, there's different categories included in this graph: family units, unaccompanied minors, and single adults. And we have the same fiscal years, 2017, 2018, and 2019 until June. The most interesting category here is family units because it has changed dramatically. It has gone in 2017, there were 75,622 people that were part of family units that were apprehended by the Border Patrol. And in 2018, this number increased to 107,212, with an increase of almost a third of the previous year. The most striking difference is with 2019, which we have so far 390,308 people that have been detained as part of family units, which is a huge jump from 2018 and 2017. It's an exponential jump. For example, it's almost the same amount for families in 2019, and the fiscal year has not ended, is almost the same total as the total for the previous year of 2018. So yes, we are living an extraordinary situation at the southern border at the moment. The other category that is important because of its vulnerability is the unaccompanied minors, and it has steadily increased by 10,000 approximately from 2017 to 2018 and then to 2019, going from 41,000 to 50,000 to 63,000. The number of single adults has gone from 186,800 to 239,300, and so to the same amount so far in 2019. Another relevant number is the amount of people that have been deported. In 2017, the immigration agency ICE processed the removal of 226,119 people. In 2018, it processed the removals of 256,085 people, for a total of 496,340 people that were removed by ICE. It is important to notice that this total is only those removed by ICE and does not include the people that have been returned by the Border Patrol. As we can see in this graph, in 2019, the number of apprehensions of family units at the southern border increased exponentially in spite of the expansion of family separation and the detention policies of minors and families implemented throughout the border. While the apprehension statistics do not specify it, a great majority of those detained by the Border Patrol are asylum seekers who turn themselves to agents. What the numbers do show is that a majority of those petitioning for asylum are families and minors. In other words, vulnerable population. A review of apprehensions by month demonstrates how, regardless of the prevalent anti-immigrant rhetoric, migration trends from families and unaccompanied minors not only have not slowed down, but they have increased exponentially. In 2016, previous to the change of administrations, there was an increase in border apprehensions, followed by a big drop in the first months of the Trump administration, which began to steadily increase by the last part of 2017. In 2018 is where we can see how these new trends start taking shape. And for example, we can see that in October, which by then is 2017, the family units were 4,836. By December, this number had doubled. And then it slowed down at the beginning of the year. And then the number continued coming at a steady rate. But by August, this number goes up, and September, it doubles the number from December. So in 9 months, it doubled. 2018 is especially important because those people that were detained in these months were the ones that experienced the brunt of the family separation policy, include also those that have been coming in 2019. Especially harsh was those that came in on March, April, May, and June, although we know that it continues to happen till this day. Another important piece of information that we need to talk about is these people are the first group of people that came in the caravan, in the first caravan. So they started going through Mexico in the previous months in 2017, and then they start coming into the United States on these months. And then it is here when the zero tolerance policy is applied. The data appears to demonstrate, especially if we look at the 2019 graph, that harsher policies and mistreatment at the border, detention centers, and shelters has not been a deterrent for the need and desire of people to seek asylum in the US. And this is a great demonstration of this. This concludes our presentation for this session of immigration policy. You could consult the sources of information in I statistics, US CBP statistics, particularly the Southwest Border Apprehensions by Fiscal Year statistics. See you next time for another session of our immigration policy series.